I-36 and I-75 in Resica, Georgia. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. This was about 28 miles from Rome. He entered the gas station, so this must have been on his way home from Rome because it's 12:32 in the morning and he is shown on the gas station cameras. The camera shows one other male customer sitting alone at a table in the Denny's section of the gas station. Caleb sits down at a different table facing this man. A few minutes later, he gets on the phone. He calls his granny to let her know where he is, and he says that he does not have enough gas to get home from where he is currently located. And he lets her know that there's another man there, and he's going to approach this man to see if he will give him $5 for gas. The camera footage shows Caleb going to speak with this man on 2 separate occasions. It is not shown or known whether this man gave Caleb any money for gas. And after their second interaction, Caleb goes and he sits back down at the table all alone, facing the man. Caleb gets out his phone and appears to send several more text messages or maybe searching the internet. However, the phone records have not been released as of what I can tell. Caleb then gets up, leaves the gas station, and he is never seen alive again. The next morning, Caleb's grandma gets really worried that he hasn't come back yet, and so she takes it upon herself to drive over to the Flying J. She finds Caleb's car parked in the Flying J parking lot on the Denny's side at the back of the building. It was parked out of sight of any of the cameras. Caleb's grandma saw what she described as a suspicious white Nissan parked nearby. This Nissan apparently really freaked her out, so she did not want to get out of her own car. In fact, she called for other family members to come and be with her at the Flying J. When these family members arrived, this suspicious, creepy white car drove away. It's not revealed if anything related to this car has anything to do with Caleb. I just felt like I should mention it. When they get out to investigate Caleb's car, it's unlocked. The keys are on the floorboard. His cell phone was in the glove box. It had its battery removed, but the battery was also there in the glove box. The car itself had a half-up tank of gas, which was not empty like he told his grandmother. Caleb's jacket was also left behind in the car, and this was pretty odd because it was a really cold night. I mean, it's January. At this point, Caleb's family reports him missing. The Gordon County Sheriff's Office, their officials say on January 16th and 17th, deputies searched the area around the truck stop, both on the ground and in the air. But their search yielded nothing. It is also worth noting that they did not process Caleb's car for evidence. On February 3rd, Caleb's nude body was found 5 miles from the gas station in a marshy, overgrown area of the country between Sugar Valley and Hill City communities. According to the sheriff's office, a citizen had found him in a poorly drained, heavily overgrown area. Earlier in that same day, the fire department had been dispatched to the same general area in reference to a brush fire. It's unknown if the fire was related, and I couldn't find anything that said that the fire affected Caleb's remains in any way. indications of violence were apparent on Caleb's body, and the GBI autopsy indicated no violence or evidence of foul play. The toxicology results showed that he died as a result of a methamphetamine overdose, and it was ruled accidental. I investigated this a little, but I really couldn't find much information on Caleb at all, let alone if he was a known drug user. Here's where it gets a little weird. There are a lot of shoe prints near Caleb's body, but Caleb didn't have any shoes on. But there were no mud on the bottom of his feet, despite the fact that he was found in a really muddy, marshy, swampy area. The only reasonable explanation that I can come up with for this is that somebody carried him there. His family was not allowed to identify him. I'm assuming this is because of the state of his remains after being outside for days in a marshy, swampy area. Also, his clothes were never located. Neither were his shoes. It's extremely unlikely to me that he walked 5 miles naked, unnoticed, in the cold. So at the very least, someone is responsible for tampering with a body, I think. At the most, somebody is guilty of murder. And then that brings us to the other part of the Flying J case. Just 2 days after Caleb went missing, 20-year-old Caselynn Roberts also disappeared from the exact same gas station. Caselynn was born October 22nd, 1999, to her parents, Shannon and Eric Roberts. She was their only child, and she was known by her nickname of Butterfly, and she was described as the center of her parents' world. They lived in Dalton, where Eric ran his own trucking company, Eric Roberts Trucking. Growing up, Caselynn is described as a good kid with a big heart. In her later years, she did get mixed up in what her father described as the wrong crowd, kids who introduced her to drugs. This resulted in her sometimes ending up on the wrong side of the law. In March of 2018, she was arrested and charged with 2 counts of possession of marijuana, possession of tools for the commission of crime, use of communication facilities in a drug transaction, and possession and use of drug-related objects. That's a lot of charges to say she had some pot. Anyway, nearly 2 years later, January 2020, she was arrested and charged with the sale of methamphetamines. At the time of her disappearance, she was said to be living with her boyfriend in Chatsworth, Georgia. On January 17th, she was scheduled to attend a probation meeting with the Whitfield County Sheriff's Office in relation to her 2018 charges. She failed to attend this meeting because she went missing, and a warrant for violation of probation was issued in her name. She was last seen on January 18th. Okay, so she didn't show up on the 17th, so she wasn't quite missing yet. I'm bad with remembering dates. So she was last seen at the Flying J off 75. Caselynn had taken a friend to work that night. He worked at the Denny's inside of the truck stop, and I couldn't find any interviews with this friend, which I thought was strange, but whatever. It was said that she was supposed to be staying at this truck stop until this friend got off work at 10 o'clock so she could take him home again. According to the press release by the English isn't my strange thing to drop and not come back for. Now, there were some reports that said that she told people that she was at the truck stop because she had arranged a meeting with an unnamed male. However, I really couldn't find anything about this anywhere. On January 20th, so 2 days later, which I thought was kind of strange that it took the family so long, the family was searching for her when they came upon her car. I cannot talk in this video. It was a white Toyota Corolla parked in the far corner of the back parking lot of the Flying J. They found the majority of her belongings still inside, including her purse, so it must have been a backpack, I guess. But no sign of her in the area. While she was officially reported missing with the Murray County Sheriff's Office that day, investigators would not be made aware of the vehicle's discovery until a few days later. Well, 9 days later, on the 29th. Initially, Caselyn's case was handled jointly by both Murray and Gordon County Sheriff's Offices. As of October 2020, it has been taken over by the GBI, or the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. Now, there was initially a rumor that Caselynn had simply been staying with her boyfriend, and, she was known to be living with him at the time. However, when he was spoken to by her father, Eric, he says, I haven't seen her in days. Any phone calls to Caselynn's cell phone go straight to voicemail. It is believed that she had the phone in her possession because it was not in the car or in the bag that she dropped inside of the Denny's. But it is either off or it has run out of battery. Now, initially there was belief that the two cases could be connected given the time and the location in which they happened. However, it was later determined that Caselynn and Caleb did not know each other. However, some people believe they might have known the same people. The community rallied around the Roberts family. They came together. They helped launch a social media campaign to raise awareness about Caselynn's case. They organized volunteer searches. One search involved four-wheelers and drones, and it spanned approximately 100 acres around the area where Caleb's body had been found. And they did another one in the wooded area near the Flying J. In March of 2020, so 2 months after she went missing, they found some of Caselynn's clothes in a bush behind the dumpster in the parking lot. 2 months? Okay, this whole case is just fishy to me. Her father, Eric, has tried to put up a missing persons flyer in the Flying J truck stop, but he was told that he wasn't allowed to. There's also been a lot of controversy surrounding the lack of lighting and surveillance footage outside of this building. In regards to this, a change.org petition was created by a user by the name of Lord Farquaad, which I had to laugh at, from Shrek, to try and implement a change that would require the company to install security cameras that overlook the parking lot. Eric Roberts is currently offering a $10,000 cash reward, no questions asked, for information leading to his daughter's location. In order to better fund it, he set up a GoFundMe, which has a goal of $20,000. Investigators have interviewed numerous people who Caselynn was known to associate with, as well as the boyfriend, and supposedly the man she was meeting at the Flying J. I couldn't find any information on any of these interviews that was released to the public, so they're keeping whatever it is close to the chest for now. There have been numerous unconfirmed sightings of Caselynn, or a woman matching her description, by truckers across the United States. These cities include South Bend, Indiana, Dallas, Texas, Roberts has been very vocal about this case, and he consistently speaks to the public in order to bring awareness to his daughter's disappearance. He has stated that he has a hard time believing that Caselynn would have disappeared on her own, and he feels like someone out there knows something, but that they are just not talking. Eric has also expressed some concern about how the police have been working on this matter, in particular the Murray County Sheriff's Office. He claims that Detective Eric White is not doing all that he can to find his daughter, stating that the Sheriff's Office has not made an effort to obtain the security footage from the Flying J or checked Caselynn's phone records. He has also shared that he's provided the detective with a list of possible persons of interest and other information, but he feels like these leads are not being investigated. Eric's fears are also shared by others on social media who feel like investigators are not taking the case seriously due to Caselynn's criminal record. Eric created the Missing Caselynn Roberts Facebook page, and I will link it down below. He posts updates and pleads with the public to come forward with any information that they may have. As I was researching this case, I came across a Reddit post. I always kind of read them, but I do kind of take them with a grain of salt because you just don't know if people are telling the truth or if the facts are accurate. But there was a Reddit poster named Georgia Buckeye who said, "I frequented this Flying J since moving to Georgia several years ago, and I will tell you that it is in the middle of nowhere, which means at night it is dark as soon as you're out of the parking lot. And by dark, I mean dark, dark. There's also a lot of places where a body could be dumped nearby where it likely would not be found for quite some time, if ever. There are a ton of wooded areas, and even more so if someone took side roads nearby. I'd also like to say that, in my experience the last couple years, it has gotten much shadier at similar stops. I refuse to go to this Flying J at night now unless I'm so low on gas I will not make it home, because it gives me the heebie-jeebies, like I'm being watched the entire time." I encourage anyone with information on this case to contact the Murray County Sheriff's Office at 706-695-4592. Tips can also be called in to Eric Roberts directly at 706-226-0069. Both of these numbers will be linked in the description box down below. So, I don't really know what I think about this case, guys. I thought it was really, really weird that two people went missing from the same gas station 2 days apart. That's really strange to me. The only connection that I can come up with is the methamphetamines. And realistically, I don't even know if that's a connection because I couldn't find anything that said that Caleb was a known drug user. Yes, Caselynn had a history with methamphetamines, and supposedly that's what Caleb overdosed on. That's a teeny connection, but maybe it was like the drug dealer, or I don't know. I think living in the same town, being similar ages, they probably did know some of the same people, even if the police necessarily couldn't find a connection. I mean, there's no way they talked to everyone that these two knew. So, as far as Caleb goes, I found it very strange that he was 5 miles away from where he went missing, nude, no mud on the bottom of his feet. There were no bare footprints in the mud, just shoe prints. And his shoes were not recovered, and his clothes were not recovered. So, where are they? I mean, see clothes lying on the side of the road all the time. One time I was driving to work and I thought maybe this girl had broken up with her boyfriend and threw his entire wardrobe down the middle of the road because there was a lot. And I just wonder, like, when you see shoes in the road, what kind of life do people lead that they leave their shoes in the road? Because I must be missing out. Sorry, I'm not trying to joke, but there's a chance that no one even knew that they were connected and just threw them away. Somebody had to have carried him there. That's the only thing that I can think of. And maybe it was somebody he was partying with or whatever, and he accidentally overdosed and they didn't know what to do with him. But where's Caselynn? I don't understand. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've heard of this case or what you think